Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire podcast business series. This podcast is about building your studio empire, whatever that is for you, whether you're just getting started or striving to hit the elusive $1 million mark. This business series will give you the confidence and know-how you need to transform your studio and give you the business you've always wanted. So sit back and get ready to build your dance studio empire. Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire, where I bring you stories and insights from the world of dance and entrepreneurship. I am Jen Dalton, I am your host, and today I'm talking about a topic that affects all of us in the industry at some stage. Now, this could be whether you are a dancer or whether you are a teacher or a studio owner. At some point throughout your career, you are going to experience, if you haven't already, comparing yourself to others and possibly feeling like a fraud. Does that resonate with you? Maybe. I don't know. Definitely does for me. As studio owners, it's just easy to feel like we are constantly being compared to others, or that we're not doing enough, or that someone else is doing it better. And sometimes this can lead to feelings like we don't know what we're doing, or we're not really qualified to run our businesses. It's even easier to feel intimidated now because of our exposure on social media. And so I'm going to use this episode to just talk with you a few ways of managing these feelings, because they will happen, and we just have to move past them, and we have to just continue living. And I just think it is part of being a human, but maybe something I say might help you in some way. So what is it we can do to help manage these feelings and just keep them from taking over our thoughts and our lives? I'm going to start with, no one has it all figured out. Okay? No one has it all figured out. Everyone's just winging it to some degree. No one has all the answers. No one knows exactly what they're doing all the time. We're all pretty much just doing our best, and that's actually okay. So I want you to stop beating yourself up if you feel like someone else is doing it better, because chances are they're just as unsure as you are. And this is like when at the beginning of the dance year, you're probably seeing a whole lot of social media posts with studios that are close to you within your area, and they're offering this and they're doing this and bring this and you get this and free this and whatever. So it's in our faces a lot more. But just know, chances are they are just doing exactly what you're doing, but they're doing it. So they're just executing it, and hopefully it's working for them. And we never really know. You never really know what's going on. If someone does turn around and says that they do have it all figured out, then I would probably question that. Because when you think about it, things are constantly evolving. We need to continue to think of new things in our studio, keep creating different ways we approach things and different things that we're offering. You need to be constantly innovating in your studio. So if someone is saying they've got it all figured out, chances are they're plateauing and they're not going to keep moving forward. So rest easy with that, that knowing that, just because you feel like you don't have it going on, you are actually continuing to build your business and moving forward. And that's the main thing. All right. The next thing is to focus on your own journey. All right. So just remember, everyone's path is different. Now, just because someone else is further along in their journey or has more success or perceived success, who really knows, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. So the best thing is to do is just focus in on your own journey and stop worrying about what other people are doing. You can't compare where you are in your journey with someone else where they are in their journey. So if you're a studio owner of 5 years, or even a studio owner of 1 year versus a studio owner of 5 years, there's a big difference in that. There's a lot of years and time of experience in those 4 years. And same with someone who's been in for 5 years versus 25 years. So you just can't, as much as we can all learn the same skills, there is just stuff that develops over time. So don't worry about what someone else is doing. And I think sometimes you sort of see this when, so possibly you're hiring out community halls or schools, you don't have your own venue secured. But then you'll see someone enter the market and they're young and new, and then all of a sudden they've, decked out a factory unit. It's, beautiful because they're putting it all over social media. And sometimes you might question then yourself, how can they be doing that? How can, I've been at it for this long and I'm still hiring, blah, blah, blah. This is exactly how I started out. For years, I was in community halls and schools, and I can tell you it is actually the smartest business decision, unless you have parents who have financial backing, or you have a business partner, or, you've married rich or something that, can support it. But if you're starting out, it's probably not the smartest idea to go into that much debt and overhead if you're wanting to run a successful business. However, each to their own, and everyone can definitely do that. But I do know over the years, I do remember having those feelings of, I'm still in a community center and, they've just opened up, they're renting a unit. And so if you look at my journey, all these years in the community centers and schools, we ended up buying our own unit, so we didn't have to pay rent on it, and we now run out of our own space. And I wish I could tell you, I think we've been in it for probably nearly 10 years. So at about 20 years is when we bought it, give or take a couple of years. My memory is terrible. But yeah, it's, by waiting that long, we now own that building. So it's actually an investment property for us. We didn't go in, it didn't create extra debt or prolong the opportunity to have it as an investment. Okay, so although I've just got off track a little bit, but what I'm saying is do your own journey and don't worry about what other people are going to do, because if you do it smart, you'll actually get ahead for where you need your future to be. So that's what I'm saying there. Okay, number 3. Take the time to celebrate your wins. So whether they're big or they're small. Recognize that your progress and what you've accomplished, and just don't compare that to other people. You honestly probably don't even know the truth of other people anyway. So celebrate yourself and your own unique journey. And I also would probably encourage you to celebrate with your team as well. Now, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at celebrating my wins. Might be something I'm going to work on. But when you stop and think about what you have done and what you've achieved, you should be really proud of that. And it should be recognized. Who you're going to make sure you pick smart with who you celebrate with. But I think back to when I wrote my book, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Well, not had to. One of the hardest things that I have undertaken by choice, because I'm not a natural writer. But I remember at the point where it became published and it was ready and it's on Amazon, and you could get it like all the other like all the other authors, you could get my book. But I never really celebrated that, and because I was just plodding along as we do, it just sort of happened, and then it was the next thing, and that was a couple of years ago now. But even when I started the podcast, which was almost a year ago now, it was such a big thing because I had no idea what I was doing. Yet 12 months later, I'm still doing it, and maybe I should celebrate. Maybe we should have a party. You can come. Yes, celebrate those wins, because I think it just reassures yourself and, gives you the confidence that you are doing a good job. So just keep going. Okay, next thing, surround yourself with positive people. Okay, so you want to be around people who support and uplift you. Okay, where possible, avoid those negative influences and seek out those who are going to help you stay focused on your journey and celebrate your wins with you. There you go. So it's a tricky one, because I know there are definitely people in your life who you can't get rid of, even if they're not positive. So possibly some family members who aren't supportive of you, you can't get rid of them, but just don't listen to those don't listen to those people. I always say, don't take advice from someone who's not where you are or are heading. So an example of this, so many years ago, it might even be before we had children, and my husband and I were in our first house, and we were, looking at ways to invest our money because, had a good income with the studio. He was working full time. And so we sought out a financial advisor, and he came to our house and, started telling us about how we can invest money and into our future, and it's going to be bright, and we've got, you can make this much and blah, 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 and live this wonderful life. Fantastic. Sounds good. And I remember when we saw him out and he was driving off, and he was driving this really old, rusty bomb car. And look, he may have had a Porsche in the garage at home, right? I get that. But he was coming to our house to tell us how to invest in our future so we can live this great life. Yet he was driving this car, and I sort of looked at my husband. I'm like, what's going on there? Anyway, totally fine. He can drive whatever car he wants. Maybe cars aren't important to him. That is fine. But that's just something for you to think about. So if someone's trying to tell you how to run a business and they've never run a business, maybe just take that information and choose what you want to do with it smartly. Don't sort of take it to heart. That's all I'm saying there. So yeah, surround yourself with those people. For us, it is a very small circle of those type of people that I can have these conversations with. But I choose quality over quantity. I would much prefer my handful of community around me than a bigger amount of people to share who don't really get it. And maybe you understand what I mean. Like there's some people you can have conversations, like really deep conversations with about your business, and there's others that you can't. Anyway, just choose wisely. And following on from that, and our last point is to get support where you need it. So if you are struggling with these feelings of comparing yourself or feeling like a bit of a fraud, reach out for support. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, or a mentor, or even just joining in a group online. There are many out there now. These people aren't going to shame you. They're going to support you. So if you're feeling like it, it's getting to you, reach out. I think that's probably the best advice if it gets to that point. All right. So there you have it. There's some tips for managing the comparison and the fraud complex that you may be feeling as a dance studio business owner. Or maybe you're a teacher and you're listening to this, and you may feel that sometimes if maybe you're going to different studios and you're feeling some places intimidated or things like that. Just remember, no one has it figured out. And if they tell you they do, they're lying. And your journey is going to be different. You just need to focus on your own journey. Don't forget, we all, including myself, need to celebrate those wins and just surround yourself with positive people. And they're going to give you the support that you need. That business bestie, I keep telling you, it's worth it. All right, that is it for today's episode. I hope you have got something out of it. We'll be back next week with more stories and more insights from the dance world and entrepreneurship. Until then, keep dancing and keep growing your dance studio empire. Hey studio owner, if you are ready to have classes so full you need a waitlist, an incredible team who are exceptional with your dancers, or simply generate more revenue for your studio, then I want to invite you to join Dance Business Academy. Now, whether you are just getting started or striving to hit the elusive $1 million mark, Dance Business Academy will give you the confidence and know-how you need to transform your studio and build your dance studio empire. Just send me an email to info@danceteachercentral.com and I'll send you through the details.